19. This is one of my favorite games. I think. And WWE 2K19, all those WWE games, Fortnite, stuff like that. Let's do Steel Cage. And guess who we're gonna be? Yes. Steel cage match at Hell in a Cell. And you already know I'ma find a way to crash that stupid cage, so I can get the win, so I can get the dub.
The big men have entered WWE to take Big Show's place.
Come here, boy.
And put him out to pasture.
Yeah, right at the top of that list is the monster among men. Braun Strowman. When these two behemoths square off, their combined weight nearly tops 800 pounds. That's a lot of pressure for a ring to support.
You make a good point, Corey, about the pressure the ring goes under. Big Show is in there
this
with
man
another
is
giant like Braun Strowman. The stretch to hold their capacity is nearly impossible and a recipe for destruction. And we've seen that destruction several times. Off of a suplex, the two exploded the ring right off its bearings. But no one, including the monster among men, has been able to send Big Show off to that proverbial pasture.
Look at this. He's going back to an old friend with that one. Over and over and over. We're seeing the same move being used.
I told you, man, get off of me.
There's a vicious DDT.
Big Show faltering some. He looks to be a little surprised right now.
I wouldn't call for the medics just yet, Cole. He still appears to be in pretty good shape here.
You seem more motivated than ever heading into this.
Not all the day. With the hammer throw.
Match, which makes me think
amazing.
He still has plenty of fight left in him. Of course, Braun Strowman is a cop.
Hold on. I'm gonna look at some of my achievements. Hold on, some achievements. Okay.
There's so many amazing. Over the years, but guys, one of the most amazing things I've ever seen was how Strowman responded to being taken to Suplex City.
Oh man, you shoved my butt. Shoved your butt.
Gosh, that's not being tossed. That's more like being propelled. Big Show going for it early. I don't blame him. Very curious move to go for a pinfall at this point.
That's either sheer genius or complete stupidity, Cole.
As Michael alluded to, Strowman reacted to being taken to Suplex City by actually popping right back up from Brock Lesnar's German suplex. I mean, stuff like that just is not supposed to happen.
Yeah, Byron, not only did Strowman immediately pop back up, but then he proceeded to manhandle, or should I say, monster handle, Lesnar like we've never seen before.
Look at this.
Oh, crap. I think he's dead now.
Of course, we all recognize Braun Strowman as a legitimate main eventer, but remember, guys, it wasn't that long ago that he was considered the black sheep of the Wyatt family. Well, man, he's going off here. I don't know if this is by design or if he just lost his mind.
Oh, and a terrific reversal by Braun Strowman.
Look at this. As Byron was saying, Braun Strowman absolutely took orders from Bray Wyatt at one point. But that all changed following the 2016 WWE Draft, when Strowman broke out on his own and proved that he was indeed a monster among men.
And he did that, Cole, by defeating 2, 3, sometimes even 4 superstars at the same time.
Look out, there he goes. Knocked right off his feet.
Going for an encore here.
I will never forget Survivor Series 1999, where the Big Show replaced Stone Cold Steve Austin, and first...
Oh, no, it's Brock Lesnar.
Really?
Byron, I remember that Survivor Series match like it was yesterday.
Titanic.
I was there. Backstage, and the Big Show was a man possessed that night.
And never underestimate the element of surprise, gentlemen, especially when that surprise is a 7-foot giant with a hunger for the WWE Championship.
Bye-bye. I'll see ya. Why is my...
See the Big Show
ow,
dominating WWE competition and think everything he's done...
This will go down as one of his hardest fought battles in
my gosh,
WWE.
that's amazing.
I can't believe what we just witnessed. Steel cage matches never failed to surprise and amaze.
Here is your winner, Braun Strowman.
I need to rematch that and do that for real. That was amazing.
For some time now, Corey, a long list of big men have entered WWE to take Big Show's place and put him out to pasture.
Yeah, and right at the top of that list is the monster among men, Braun Strowman. When these two behemoths square off, their combined weight nearly tops 800 pounds. That's a lot of pressure for a ring to support.
If you haven't hit record yet, now might be a good time to do that. These guys are going to have a match you'll want to watch over and over again.
You make a good point, Corey, about the pressure the ring goes under when Big Show is in there with another giant like Braun Strowman. The stress to hold their capacity is nearly impossible and a recipe for destruction. And we've seen that destruction several times. Off of a suplex, the two exploded the ring right off its bearings. But no one, including the monster among men, has been able to send Big Show off to that proverbial pasture.
Oh, that hurt. That hurt.
Before 2017's Extreme Rules, there were just 3 previous tag team matches where championship gold was decided inside a steel cage in the history of WWE special events. The Hardy Boys were in 2 of those matches. At Extreme Rules, in order to win the match, both members of a team had to exit the cage and have both feet on the floor.
The Hardys used their famous continuity to gain the early advantage until Cesaro and Sheamus utilized their devastating power to slow the pace of the match down. Both teams battled atop the steel cage, but in the end, Sheamus and Cesaro won the race to the arena floor to become new Raw Tag Team Champions.
Dangerous spot for him to be in.
You gotta figure out a way to get back in it, guys.
Superplex! Oh, man, did you see the impact? That'll slow Big Show down a bit.
At this point, it's all about how he responds and potentially rebounds.
The good news for him is that he doesn't appear to have taken too much offense up to this point, but that can obviously all change here. An Irish whip with authority. Unleashing it for the second time now.
Flying, soaring. There's nothing that can stop me.
The WWE Universe has seen the evolution of the steel cage in the enclosure known today as Hell in a Cell. The first time an enclosed cage was seen was in October of 1983 in the last Battle of Atlanta. The enclosed cage was seen a few years later in the War Games match from the NWA. There were even cages stacked on top of each other, like WCW's Tower of Doom.
All right, when we talk about the progression of steel cage matches and the type of structures that have been spawned from them, I need to point out that some cages have been electrified. One was made from bamboo in the form of the Punjabi prison match. And, of course, the Elimination Chamber with glass pods and steel doors.
And today we have the Asylum match, where weapons are on top of the cage. Just goes to show you that times may change, but the objective to destroy an opponent remains the same. There's still no better way to settle a score than to do battle with your adversary inside a steel cage.
Spinning sidewalk slam with authority.
Pressed like a 10-pound dumbbell. And another one. Big Show is not getting it done. He's barely hanging in there.
This could be lights out for the world's largest athlete.
He started this match in great health, but now it seems fatigue has set in.
Gets him in position.
This is not going to end well for him, Michael. He may have discovered his favorite move.
Strowman is feeling it right here. According to historians, the twisted metal that we see as part of steel cages today dates back 80 years. To settle a dispute between competitors Jack Bloomfield and Count Pietro Rossi, the two met inside a ring surrounded by chicken wire. At first, these types of matches were referred to as fence matches.
Corey, you gave us an impressive history of the origins of the steel cage match. I'd like to point out to our viewers that from the 1960s to the mid-1980s, chain link fences were used to enclose the ring for WWE steel cage matches. A superstar could win by pinfall submission or by exiting the cage through the cage door or climbing over the top of the cage.
We should also point out, Michael, that the way to win a steel cage match can vary by match depending on what was agreed to before contracts to compete in the match were signed. Talking about Braun Strowman is getting ready here.
Undervalued and underappreciated, how I describe Big Braun.
Oh, Braun Strowman slamming into the mat. Looks like this show's over, guys.
I'm having a hard time figuring out what they're going to do next. Look at Braun Strowman stalking him.
I need to disagree with you, Corey. Your observation.
And here's the monster along man. Corey, look at the power.
Hellacious power slam.
Never mind.
Game, set, match. This one is over.
Stay there. Snarky move. Oh my gosh.
When you're one of the young guns here in WWE, you look at a matchup with a long-tenured Big Show as an opportunity to prove yourself worthy.
Oh, and the reversal by Big Show. The repetition on that move is becoming deliberate at this point. Corey, you bring up superstars trying to make a name for themselves by taking on the Big Show. I would warn the competitors of the gigantic test they're about to embark on. You'll never face such a combination of size and experience.
Heck no, you won't. Big Show is a true giant who can dominate you at will. Throw his experience in the mix, and there is nothing the world's largest athlete hasn't seen before. Oh, watch out!
The rivalry between Ultimate Warrior and Ravishing Rick Rude began during the Super Pose Down at the 1989 Royal Rumble. Then it progressed to where both superstars battled over the Intercontinental Championship. At SummerSlam 90, the rivals met inside a 15-foot-high steel cage for the WWE Championship. Victory could be achieved by pinfall or escape from the cage.
Hold on, guys. This isn't good.
No question about it, Cole.
Corey, the WWE Championship match between the Ultimate Warrior and Ravishing Rick Rude was the second half of the double main event at 1990 SummerSlam. The rivalry between the Warrior and the Ravishing One was so heated that no one knew what to expect once the two men were able to battle inside a steel cage, which at the time was the most grueling match in all of WWE.
The Ultimate Warrior dominated early on with his incredible strength. Rick Rude turned the tables and used the steel surroundings to his advantage. At one point, Rude dove from the top of the cage onto the Warrior. But after the Warrior's signature Gorilla Press Slam, the Ultimate One climbed over the cage and retained his WWE Championship.
As you may remember, Kurt Angle actually fired Braun Strowman back in January of 2018, and guys, I can't help but wonder how different the WWE landscape would be if that firing actually stuck.
On the topic of Strowman's temporary firing, I could think of more than a few superstars who wished it stuck. Kane and The Bar immediately come to mind, considering what he did to them at the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, respectively.
I don't disagree, Saxton. Let's be honest. The true highlight from Strowman's firing
My arm
was when
hurts.
he launched Michael Cole off the Raw stage like a lawn dart.
That was kind of funny.
Shut up.
No, don't you dare.
The steel cage is a massive enclosure that stands 15 feet in height. For almost 35 years, a select group of high flyers have taken their aerial assaults to greater heights. And when I say that, I mean superstars climb to the top of the steel cage, the real high-rent district, and dive off onto their opponent. And that all started with one man in October of 1983, Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
To your point earlier, Byron, we've definitely seen some unbelievable attacks be launched from the top of the steel cage. And you mentioned the most iconic, the steel cage match, the Intercontinental Championship that saw Jimmy Superfly Snuka clash against bitter rival, the magnificent Morocco.
There's no denying that Superfly set the bar. You look over the years to people like Jeff and Matt Hardy, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, and Chris Jericho. They continued to push the envelope and executed unbelievable attacks from the top of the cage. And watch Rikishi take flight off the top of the steel cage.
Wow. You don't expect an athlete to hit his physical peak 20 years into his career, but the Big Show returned in amazing shape when he dropped 70 pounds in 2017.
And somehow a sub-400-pound Big Show is even scarier now than he was back when he was inching toward half a ton on the scale.
Come on, buddy.
Corey, what scares me
Unlock
is a
it faster.
Big
Come
Show.
on.
The world's largest athlete chasing you is a nightmare scenario. But imagine if he could actually catch up. Ooh, nice.
Even if he's cut a lot of weight, the Big Show's still the world's largest athlete, but he's now put the emphasis on athlete. Be afraid.
I dropped my controller.
Talk about how important stipulations are in a steel cage match. If superstars sign a contract where the only way to win is escape the cage and have both your feet touch the floor, the competitors must have a plan.
I am a button mashing
Especially
freak.
since you have to be comfortable trying to escape through the cage door as you do climbing over the top of the cage and vice versa.
Corey, you touched on something moments ago that's so important for the combatants in a steel cage match to remember. A superstar must be able to think offensively to figure out how they're going to escape the cage. They must think defensively at the same time so they can prevent their opponent from getting out of the cage first and winning the match.
Well, a superstar must become comfortable with escaping the cage by both exiting the cage door and by climbing over the top of the cage. They must also be aware of their attributes and what's best for them. Let's just say if you're a giant like The Big Show, The Undertaker, Kane, or even Braun Strowman, it's preferred to exit through the cage door.
There's a certain feeling that comes over the combatants in a steel cage match once they hear the door close and see the official lock it. A superstar must know that their body is going to be thrown against the steel, that their face will most likely be raked across the cage, and that anything is legal in this environment.
You spoke about this earlier, Corey. It's crucial for a WWE superstar to fully understand the gravity of the situation they're in when they battle inside a 15-foot-high steel cage. An individual must be ready to endure pure brutality and be prepared for the fight of their life. No one leaves a steel cage match without scars.
Corey, you said something of value for once, and that anything is legal inside the steel cage.
I think he's dead.
Something
Yeah,
else we've seen over
he's
the years
definitely
is
dead.
interference. Whether it's The Undertaker
Come on,
coming
if
up
he
through the ring
gets up
or
after
John
that,
Cena
I'm
getting
just-
bashed in the head
I'm
with the
sorry.
cage door from the outside,
If he gets up after that-
it's all legal in the cage. The
Don't
best
you
way
dare
to
get up.
describe combatants clashing
swear if
inside a
you get
steel
up.
cage is its battle of attrition. Sometimes a superstar is left with no choice but to fight fire with fire and do whatever they need to do in order to win the match. And sometimes it comes down to a superstar doing whatever they need to do in order to survive.
Byron, you touched on this earlier, but it's so important for a superstar to accept that there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide in a steel cage match. That the conflict will be resolved within the 15-foot-high steel walls that surround the ring. And that losing a cage match can mean much more than a mark in the loss column. For some, it has meant the end of their career.
It's difficult to describe the damage that can be done to a superstar who competes in a steel cage match. We see the physical harm, but we don't see the psychological effects from being inside the cage. Make no mistake about it, Michael. The steel cage truly represents survival of the fittest. According to historians, the twisted metal that we see as part of steel cages today dates back 80 years. To settle a dispute between competitors Jack Bloomfield and Count Pietro Rossi, the two met inside a ring surrounded by chicken wire. At first, these types of matches were referred to as fence matches.
Corey, you gave us an impressive history of the origins of the steel cage match. I'd like to point out to our viewers that from the 1960s to the mid-1980s, chain link fences were used to enclose the ring for WWE steel cage matches. A superstar could win by pinfall submission or by exiting the cage through the cage door or climbing over the top of the cage.
We should also point out, Michael, that the way to win a steel cage match can vary by match depending on what was agreed to before contracts to compete in the match was signed. Talking about history, at WrestleMania 2, WWE unveiled the redesigned steel cage with solid steel blue bars before returning to chain link mesh in the late 1990s.
That might have hurt his head just as much.
He's always had the ability to take
What was that?
Look out, Braun Strowman is measuring.
Oh my gosh, from what heights?
Just when you thought he had nothing left.
The first one was vicious, but somehow this one was even more devastating.
Braun Strowman is getting ready here.
Oh, backwards choke slam.
Reverse choke slam.
Face first.
That's what he was looking for.
He's looking for the win.
No, you know what? You want to know? He always has to get up.
This has been a war. Down
Ref,
he goes.
I didn't
That'll
tell
do it
you
every
to
time.
close the door. Okay, ref, that's not nice.
This has been a battle.
Oh, you cannot take your eyes off him for a second.
Really? Going to the well again. Both these superstars appear to be operating on fumes here, guys.
No.
The toughness and grit we're seeing on display tonight in this steel cage match has been absolutely unbelievable. And Braun Strowman nails it. Looks like this show's over, guys. Things just went from bad to message delivered. Looks like this show's over, guys. Things just went from
Had a plan and executed it.
Strowman is taking no prisoners right here. Braun Strowman is getting ready here.
I'd like to see you get out of this.
Oh, Braun Strowman slamming into the mat. But he's running on fumes.
What?
Here. Does he have enough left in him to capitalize? Yeah, you don't see a slam like that very often.
Oh, hellacious power slam.
That has got to be it.
Things are not looking very good right now. Going to have to find a way to regroup.
Just, you know.
There's got to be some point in the match where those thoughts start to creep in that it could be over. And then you got to dig down deep. Get rid of the self-doubt and continue on toward victory. You're not going to win many matches absorbing punishment like that.
Come on!
I don't know how these superstars are doing it right now. They've got to be exhausted.
I'll tell you, the cage has absolutely beaten down these superstars.
Given what we've seen so far here tonight, I'm willing to bet these superstars will think twice before stepping foot inside another steel cage.
Braun Strowman doing a great job of turning that around.
Both of these superstars looking a little worse for wear.
I wonder what this is all about.
I'm not really sure, but I think we're about to find out.
There's a certain feeling that comes over the combatants in the steel cage match once they hear the door close and see the official lock it. A superstar must know that their body is going to be thrown against the steel, that their face will most likely be raked across the cage, and that anything is legal in this environment.
Come on.
You got to wear your opponent down. Find that little weakness that could help you end up with a victory. You spoke about this earlier, Corey. It's crucial for a WWE superstar to fully understand the gravity of the situation they're in when they battle inside a 15-foot-high steel cage. An individual must be ready to endure pure brutality and be prepared for the fight of their life. No one leaves a steel cage match without scars.
Corey, you said something of value for once, and that anything is legal inside the steel cage. To that point, something else we've seen over the years is interference. Whether it's The Undertaker coming up through the ring or John Cena getting bashed in the head with the cage door from the outside, it's all legal.
Will it be?
I think so!
He's trying to mangle his face here.
At this point, it looks like even the winner of this match will walk out of here beaten and battered.
Come on.
Both these
Come on, Big
superstars
Show.
appear to be operating on fumes here, guys. Gosh, this is like that old battery commercial. This move just keeps going and going and going and going. We've seen this before.
Ow, ow, that hurts. Ow.
Looks to me like these superstars are running on fumes right about now.
No, I'm gonna win.
I'll
Just,
tell you, the cage
you know.
has absolutely beaten down these superstars.
And now he goes for it a second time. And there it is again. At this point, you think he'd have that move well scouted.
The Big Show is putting on a big show right
Ow.
now.
Ow. Ow.
Both these superstars
I'm
appear
just
to be
gonna,
operating
you know,
on
ram
fumes
your
here, guys.
head against the cage in a second. Okay, never mind. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna, you know, see if Brock Lesnar's gonna come, and then, I don't know.
Both of these superstars looking a little worse for wear right now.
Can you please come over here so we can battle?
The toughness and grit we're seeing on display tonight in this steel cage match has been absolutely
Owie.
unbelievable.
That doesn't feel good, man. You just hit me in my butt.
These superstars wearing the wounds right now of what has been an absolutely thrilling matchup.
Don't you dare. No. No.
The intensity
No.
of this match has been incredible.
A bot's beating me. No, I will not die to I will not get killed. I'm not destroyed by a bot. I will beat the
For some
bot.
time now, Corey, a long list of big men have entered WWE to take Big Show's place and put him out to pasture.
Yeah, and right at the top of that list is the monster among men, Braun Strowman. When these two behemoths square off, their combined weight nearly tops 800 pounds. That's a lot of pressure for a ring to support.
The monster among men doesn't ask for permission nor ask for forgiveness. He simply
See ya.
destroys
Yeah, just
whatever
kinda, you know.
lays in his path.
Braun Strowman is a Leviathan, Saxton, and sports entertainment
not
has
nice.
never experienced brute force like this from one human being.
And he hits his splash. He got it with a kick.
That was great. It's my favorite moment. Whee!
The WWE Universe has seen the evolution of the steel cage in the enclosure known today as Hell in a Cell.
Titanic,
the first
be like.
time an enclosed cage was seen
kidding.
was in October of
Titanic, the movie,
1983
be like.
in the last Battle of Atlanta. The enclosed cage was seen a
That-
few
okay,
years
that
later
wasn't
in the War Games match from the NWA. There were even cages stacked on top of each other like WCW's Tower of Doom.
There's the side slam. Byron,
Ow.
we talk about the
Ow.
progression
No.
of steel cage
No,
matches
that
and the type
hurt.
of structures that
That
have been
didn't feel
spawned
good.
from them.
Come on.
I need to point out that some cages have been electrified. One was made from bamboo in the form of a Punjabi prison match. And of course, the
I remember
elimination
that.
chamber with glass pods and steel doors.
And today we have the
watched
Asylum
that
match
a
where
lot.
weapons are on top of the cage. Just goes to show you that times may change, but the objective to destroy an opponent remains the same. There's still no better way to
Bye,
settle
have
a
a good
score
time.
than to do battle with your adversary inside a steel cage.
Up and over with a suplex. You know, guys, it's not uncommon for superstars to practice a little hyperbole when it comes to nicknames. For example, King Kong Bundy isn't really a walking condominium, but when it comes to Braun Strowman, there is no more fitting moniker than the Monster Among Men.
So it's kind of like when they call you JR Jr., right?
I've never heard that one.
We may have discovered his favorite move.
I've never heard that
Braun
one.
Strowman truly is a monster among men, as Byron pointed out. Even on the rare occasion he's outsized, I'd say it's Strowman's physical ferocity that makes him truly unstoppable.
I couldn't agree more, Cole. Just go back
Going
and look at
down.
what Strowman was able to do against the taller
Big
Big
slow.
Show. I mean,
It's
at
the
one
big
point,
slow ow
threw
that
Show
hurt.
right through a steel cage.
Not the first time we've seen this move tonight. He clearly has confidence.
What? Bye, guys.